Hi, I'm Stormy Martin, and this is my final for Simpson. So I have Simpson for two periods. I have him for second period and third period. Um, I learned a lot. Each time that we did a tech tip, I seemed to learn something new. I mean, we would do a tech tip about, say, iPods or my phone, and I would learn something new about iPods or my phone, and it would be really cool because then I get to teach it to people that are viewing. Tech tips are where we go around and we film things that people need to know. Like, say, someone has a question about how to work on a MacBook or how to work on iMovie or something like that. Then, tech tip, you can go view the tech tip and it'll show you basically step by step what you need to know to do something for a project, which is really fun. I enjoyed it. I only had it for the last this trimester, but it was a lot of fun. Another skill that I learned was how to get a tech tip done in only 1 week. Sometimes it was really stressful, but a lot of times it was just, okay, so we need to write the script on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday we need to film, and part of Thursday and all of Friday we need to edit it. And so I got really good at not procrastinating, not being like, oh, I can write the script on Tuesday, and we can film on Thursday. No, the script had to be done on Monday, and all the filming had to be done by Thursday or by the middle of Thursday. That way we could edit it. And each week we kind of trade off. Like when we were doing tech tips, we would trade off. Like, okay, say one partner does the editing while the other one does the directing and writes the script, and then we would trade off, and another partner would do the editing, and the other partner would do directing and script writing, and it was definitely difficult sometimes, but really fun, and you learned a lot, and you had a lot of fun. Each week is a different art story. Basically, one group each week would be chosen and would choose something significant about that week. Like if we were doing tax that week, then that group would go and ask the school and teachers and just people around the school how they felt about tax and like what their emotions were and like what they thought about it this year, last year, like were they having difficulties, were they having to study for it, things like that. So that next year we can look at it and be like, oh yeah, I remember when we did that, or I remember when the school was doing that, and things like that. And so at the end of the year, we're all going to compile all of the footage together and make it just one long all our story, so that as the weeks progress, for each week you have a different theme about it. And that's basically second period. Like I said, I only came in during the third trimester, so my group had been together the whole year. And I came in, and it was really cool because it was my friends, and so I already knew the people, didn't need introductions or anything like that, and just got to kind of work with them and kind of integrate into their little project group thing that they had going on, and it fit real well, and it was a lot of fun. This year was cool. Third period was definitely the most interesting class I had all year. It was definitely the newest. We did things that I'd never done before. Like when I first came into the class, they were working on projects that the class had thought up, which was pick something that you want to change with the school and make a persuasive video to kind of persuade the board members of the school to kind of change the school to how you want it. Like, my group had already chosen dress code, and so we chose things about the dress code that we didn't agree with. After we were done making a persuasive video, we moved on to writing a series of episodes about the show that we came up with. As a class, we sat down, we talked about it, and we were like, we want to create a series to put on YouTube or on iTunes or something like that. And then we just created a whole show, and it was unique, definitely unique. And so that was the first time I'd ever worked on script writing. We wrote the whole first episode together as a class with Mr. Simpson up there writing it down and kind of giving us ideas but not controlling it at all. It was definitely the class's ideas, the class's words that were going into the mouths of the actors. And it would be the class that acted it out. We were the ones that said, okay, so I want to be that person. And after we wrote the first episode, we kind of broke off into other groups And as those groups, we wrote another episode. My group wrote episode 3, and so there was only one group before us, and we had to all collaborate together and kind of make sure that the story flowed right and that it went the direction we wanted it to go, and that we were saying what we needed to say and kind of leading up to the next episode. Having to work with other people, other groups, to figure out our group or to figure out what our group was doing was something I'd never done before at all. And then we went out as a group and we filmed the first episode with Mr. Simpson kind of directing it and leading the way, and then the second group that wrote the second episode had to direct that one and lead the way for that one, and I got to watch them do that, and I was part of that episode, so I was part of the actor, and like I had to say my lines, remember my lines, and all that. And then me and my group members got to direct the third episode, and it was interesting working with my fellow team members, and definitely interesting trying to direct the whole class and to getting them to do it how I wanted them to do it. Like, I had to work with them and say, okay, so in my head when I was writing the script, I envisioned you saying it like this. And then kind of talking to them and getting how they felt about it, and then having them say their lines. And also, like, talking with the guy behind the camera, and getting him to, get the shots that I had envisioned. And then after that was all over, I had to go back to the classroom with my group and had to edit it so that it fit what we'd seen whenever we were writing it. I had to completely splice it all together, which is what we're used to. I mean, we work with a lot of movies, but never before have we worked with one that had a script and was so detailed and, had actors saying their lines and needed to have all these different parts. That way it could lead on to the next episode. And so all of third period this year was completely new and just stuff I'd never done before. I learned so much about the computers and cameras and script writing and just things I'd never dealt with before. Yeah, that's basically a third period.